Representative Paul Broun is using tax dollars, mine and yours, I guess, to learn him how to talk more, not stupid. Yep, that's right. He's from here. He's from down here in Georgia. Things are getting really crazy here in Georgia. Getting crazier. It's an election year, and as reported at MSNBC on their website, if you have an appetite for wingnut stupid, you're in luck because the Republican Party offers an all-you-can-eat buffet, like the woman up in Illinois. But if you like your stupid Southern style, you're in extra luck because it is supersized in Georgia's Republican primary Senate race. Now, what happened is Saxby Chambliss, who defeated the war hero, and you know how I feel about that, but Saxby Chambliss went on a tear a few years back to get his useless ass elected, and now he's ready to retire. Now, stepping out of the comedy mode just a little bit, the word is that he has some form of advanced prostate cancer, and he has to get out of the Senate and deal with that. But it's like he's had enough of loving America more than that dirty anti-American hippie commie bin Laden-loving Max Cleveland. Max Cleveland was head of the VA during the Clinton administration, and then he was a senator here. And he's a guy who lost 2 legs and an arm in Vietnam. Saxby Chambliss got student deferments during Vietnam, kind of like the rest of these right-wing cowardly sons of bitches. Now, I am not defending U.S. activity in Vietnam, but I am saying that there were an awful lot of guys who went there under false pretenses and left part of themselves, as is so often the case with American military operations, left part of themselves in the country that they had, the U.S. had told them to invade and kill and maim and wound and so on and so forth. So Saxby Chambliss defeated Max Cleveland by, this is Georgia, by painting Max Cleveland as somehow not an American patriot. And they tried to swift boat him, too, the way they did with John Kerry, and apparently it kind of worked. But that was coming up on 12 years ago. So anyway, Saxby has decided he's got to stay home and take care of whatever is bothering him. And so it's an open seat. Now, an open seat here in Georgia just means that you have a whole clutch of Republicans come crawling out of dark corners and, you know, wiping the slime off and the spider webs and stuff and saying, I'm going to be a senator from Georgia. It didn't always used to be like that, as we say here in the South, here in Georgia, but it is like that now. The problem with this guy, Paul Broun, he don't talk good. You know, he talks like he's from Georgia. And, you know, first of all, please understand there's no such thing as a Southern accent. There really isn't. I know if you live in Chicago or New York or L.A., yes, there is. But when you live here in the South, there's an Alabama accent, a North Carolina accent, and that's even divided. You have North Carolina mountain accent. You have a North Carolina coastal accent. Here in Georgia, 2 or 3 different accents. Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. It just goes on and on and on like that. But to the untrained ear, it's just Southern accent. Well, Paul Broun, representative, he's already represented. He has a real cottonmouth Georgia kind of accent where he talks. He just doesn't sound like he knows what the hell. He's got at least 37 kinds of stupid running around inside his head. He's just not all that bright at all. And he's not too fond of science. But that's only because, remember I told you what this guy said a couple of weeks ago? He said, science is nothing but lies that come straight from the pit of hell. He's going to be a senator, or wants to be, see? So he's trying to sound smarter, and he's using U.S. taxpayer dollars to do it like any good fiscal conservative. He's hired a rhetoric coach. which would be a speech pathologist or someone to help him learn how to talk better than he talks now. How much money? Just 30 grand. That's all. It's nothing to get your balls in an uproar about $30,000. After Brown fled from a local reporter one day asking him about this, his office issued a statement explaining that the congressman did use taxpayer money to pay a former debate coach, but the funds were used so, quote, Brown can best communicate his legislative priorities, issues, and messages with his constituents. Now, this is a guy that believes the earth is only 9,000 years old, and Obama is basically Marx and Hitler, and from Kenya, and probably not even an American citizen, but what the hell. So I just thought I'd toss that out there for you. You got that crazy woman up there going to run against Jan Schakowsky, and then we got this crazy one down here. We got a bunch of crazy down here. Oh, God, and trust me. But Paul Broun, you know, he just wants to talk more like, you know, I don't know, more like what? More like a human being, I guess. And, you know, Paul Brown's got a good chance of getting elected because, after all, the earth is only 9,000 years old. Shh, don't tell anybody. We'll be right back after this here break thingy we got here. It's called